Welcome to round 4 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of April 24th. I'm Terry Morrow, and I'm here with Nicole Eridix.
Hello.
And Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
As moms of teens and young adults, we've survived those little kid days, yet we're still rethinking the decisions we've made all through our kids' lives and worrying about what's going on right now. Today's Thursday, which means it's time to give into our obsessing. And today we're obsessing about how adult kids might be doing better than their parents think they are. Oh, how I hope that is true. Who found this article? Catherine?
I think
Me.
Nicole did.
Nicole did. So
Yes.
you saw this and you thought, this is true. We should share this. We should let everybody know how happy they should be. So what's it about?
Yeah.
Convince me.
Well, as parents, we have many worries. And
Uh-huh.
one of them is, are there adult children, are they at where they should be at for their age, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think it's that whole idea of what's developmentally appropriate. We don't have
Yes.
those developmental milestones for adult
Right.
kids, right?
Right.
And so we
Which is
don't have
probably a good
anything.
thing.
It probably is, because society will definitely keep them in check.
Yeah.
And so anyway, because these milestones are not there, it's we might worry that our kids are failing to launch, like,
Mm-hmm.
And also
maybe not moving out.
because we compare it to our own
Yes.
young
Right.
adulthood and childhood,
Right,
I think is also part of it.
right.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
but apparently our concerns are largely unfounded.
Are they really?
According to a professor of psychology and neuroscience at Temple University. Mhm.
Excellent.
So,
Has he been watching
yes.
us? Has he been peeking in the windows of our home to see?
so he says, rather than worry, you should be respecting their independence, keeping your opinions to yourself, and embracing collaboration.
They keep hitting that point, don't they? They really want you to shut up, Mom. My daughter funded this study.
I have a lot of those worries about. I do, honestly. Maybe it's just my anxiety, but I'm like, okay, when I was 23,
Yeah.
I was engaged and getting ready to buy a home, and which is like pretty unrealistic these days.
Yeah.
So I need to stop that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this article says that I don't know exactly how they're defining the timing and the generations, but that it perhaps our generation, it took like 8 years for a young adult to be launched in terms of like out of the house in living on their own, whatever.
Right.
And now it's 13 years. So that's the sort of like, don't compare the 13-year milestone to
Right.
the 8-year one.
Yeah.
And that's where people are struggling.
So everybody else's kid is doing bad too. So don't worry about it.
Right. That does seem to be the point.
It all depends on. I mean, there's certainly certain personality things there too, right? I mean, I could not get out of the house fast enough, and I left and came back and left again, but I can't compare my children to that because, I mean, my husband, we talked yesterday, was just fine living at home until he got married. And I know other people who did as well. I had friends who lived with their parents until, for many, many years. So it's not, my kids are very different than me.
Right.
They're not wanting to move on. So it's not just kids today exclusively. It's personality too. I'm sure there's kids today who want to get out of the house too. So you can't compare your kid to that kid if it's a different kid. I don't know. I'm rambling.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's nice to know that not to worry. That's nice. I hear that a lot.
Yeah, well, that's always a good thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about this a little bit in terms of my son going away to college next year, and I need to like resist comparing him to his sister because she's like always been very independent and like responsible, and she only lived in a dorm for 1 year, and then after that she's been in an off-campus townhouse, and so she has to like, you know, go to the grocery store and they have to clean and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And where my son is going to school, it will be probably a dorm, like a very traditional dorm setting for the whole time.
Yeah.
And I find myself going like, wait a minute, he's not going to learn, you know, how to live up on his own. Like, okay, so he'll learn it when he's 22 instead of when he's 19. Like, whatever. Like, get over yourself.
Right.
So,
but yeah, it's difficult to not make those comparisons.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's just a very different school, but also, hey, he's a very different kid.
Right.
So.
Right.
Right.
That's
I have
keep
two
that in mind.
It's interesting because my kids they're a mixed bag of, you know, one is further ahead than I was at when I was their age, the other one in one area, and then the other one is further out in another area, and it's it's so hard to figure out, and was that even the right thing? Like, I think about my own path, and looking back, I would have done things a lot differently. I wouldn't have made some of those big decisions that we were making at that age. Yeah. But then I think too, like, life kind of just propels you forward, even though you may not want to be making that milestone either.
Yeah. That's true.
Well, definitely. I mean, one of my son's classmates just became a dad, so that changes things real quick. You know, where his college plans changed, his the baby's mother's, you know, changed, and it all happened very quickly. So.
Yeah, that will do it.
That will do it.
It's one of those big ones.
Different sort of adventure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of the prom, there were prom pictures with the baby. Aww. Yes, she looked very cute. Aww. Yes, so embrace collaboration is the advice of the esteemed professor. And keep opinions to yourself unless you're asked for them.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Terry, tell us how that goes.
If we're going to keep our opinions to ourselves, which we're not, but if we did, do the kids have to keep their opinions to themselves
right.
also? Do they get to not comment on things that we do? Because I dare them, you know? So it's not, you know, it's...
Respect your elders. Is that kind of the whole idea?
Human being. We have opinions. We don't stop being human beings when we become parents. And it's like, well, now squelch everything that is your natural inclination to do because your kid is now an adult.
You're expecting me to be somebody I'm not.
Exactly. You know, we get to
Right.
I know
we need some content that just confirms, you know, the fact that we're people too. And
maybe what we need is to have a respectful exchange of opinions. You can give your opinion, you can listen to your child's response to that opinion, and you cannot be shouting and screaming at each other, and you cannot be huffing off into the other room. I don't know that people do that and crying. I don't know. But you can just have a discussion, embrace collaboration. You know, collaboration involves something from both sides.
Yeah.
So,
well,
but, you know, respecting their independence, That's a difficult one for me because I don't see a lot of independence.
Right. Like,
I would
respect it if it's not necessarily there?
Yeah, it's not a priority, I don't think. In fact, it is a scary word to my kids to some degree, you know, because they associate it with mom putting a boot in their butt and kicking them out of the house, and then they have to fend for themselves in the cold, cold world. It's like, well, no. That's not what we mean. But I try to foster it where I see it. But also, I've always talked with my kids about I want them to do anything they want to do with a very sturdy safety net underneath.
Right.
So that is my job, is to be the circus employee whose job it is to get under the trapeze artist at the right time.
Right.
So,
Well, and I think, can we pick and choose what we, what kind of independence we foster? Because
I think the noted doctor would say, no, that is not your business. But yes, we totally can. I say it's fine.
Yeah.
Thumbs up from noted parenting expert Terry Morrow.
Terry Morrow.
Author of 2 books. 3 if you count a rewrite.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think that places you in the expert category.
I'm as good as anybody else. We're all full of bleep. But,
wow.
Yeah.
These are not such new conversations for us to have.
What independence would you pick and choose, Nicole?
Well,
I
am not letting go of being, you know, in the middle of one of my children's money management.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. And as I mentioned, we've dealt with also. And I just do my son's money because he's not interested in that. So, you know, but training wheels.
Yeah,
in addition to the net, there need to be
scaffolded.
training wheels.
We're scaffolding.
It's not like, well, you're 18. Hope you know how to cook, clean, wash, manage your money, get a job,
Right.
You know, all that stuff. So long. Have fun out in the big wide world. Write home every now and then. You gotta watch it.
Yeah.
You gotta maintain some level of supervision.
But then, of course, if my parents had done that to me at that age, forget it.
There's some kids who can just go fly, and, you know, even if they have problems, they resolve them. And there's some kids who just crash. And you don't want to be the person that everybody says, why didn't their parents help you? Where were the parents? So,
right. Yeah.
This is what we worry about, New York Times. Do you care? Just giving the back off mom advice. Will you be there with a net? Or will you write articles
and the training
about
wheels?
Lost young adults whose parents abandon them before they're ready.
Right.
Sunday Times magazine.
Abandoned adult children.
Yes. All they wanted was love and support from their parents. And their parents said,
you're too old for that.
Their parents tragically kept their opinions to themselves.
Tragically did not collaborate with their children.
Yes.
Oh dear. Okay.
This just falls into the parents can't win category for me.
Yeah.
Right.
But, I mean, all things being equal and positive, this is good advice. But, you know, your mileage may vary.
But when are things ever equal?
That's right.
They're not. Nothing is cut and dry.
Nothing's that easy.
Nothing is black and white.
But, would be, it's sure fun to imagine.
Maybe.
Perfect world.
I'm sure we're going to be talking about this topic so much more.
Yes.
As our children continue to age.
Well, we don't.
Well, we don't.
If we remain active in their lives and tell them what to do, they will continue to age. If not, if we abandon them, who knows? So this is what keeps us awake at night in New York Times. All right. But we should stop obsessing right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's it for today's round 4. Tune in tomorrow when we'll share our roundabout roundup of things we've been using or enjoying lately that we think deserve a shout out. Find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter, where you will find us at Roundabout Chat.